Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Saltfire, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to tank the trash pulls in Kyne's Aegis. This will be part 1 of 4 on my series on how to tank the whole trial. So today will be the trash pulls, and then the next video will be the first boss, followed by the second boss, and then finally Lord Falgraven. Of course, there are going to be several methods on how to tank these trash pulls. However, the methods that I'm about to show you happen to be working really well in my group that is currently going for the Dawnbringer achievement. So we will be breaking down all of the ad mechanics and how to stack them. I will be doing some parts in slow motion so it is easier for you to see. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll have a much better understanding of how to tank the trash pulls. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so right off the bat, we're going to be introduced to one of the more important ads in the whole trial, which is the Bulwark. We're going to take him first because he has a nasty cleave attack we do not want to have face towards the group. Then we're going to take the Raider, which is the other big dude to the left, and face both of them away from the group. So as well as the cleave attack, he also has a gold circle that he will put up that will protect anything caught inside of it, which will make the burn go slowly. So make sure you kill that Bulwark nice and quick here. The Raider's more like a Templar and has a jab attack that honestly doesn't do that much damage, just kind of drains your stam. That's really all there is to this first trash pack. The OT is helping me chain in the little guys. Little guys don't do that much damage. Yeah, just follow those steps there, and this first trash pull, honestly not that bad. Moving on to the next trash pull, we're going to be introduced to the Tidebreaker that has 2 mechanics, one of which is a nasty cleave, so we're going to want to face him away from the group. Right next to him is a Raider, so I'm going to grab the Tidebreaker and the Raider, and to the right is another Bulwark like the previous trash pull, but the off tank is going to take the Bulwark, and we're going to face everything away from the group and chain in the small adds. The Tidebreaker actually has another mechanic, which I will go over here shortly once you're actually able to see it, because right there we nuked everything very quickly. Moving on to the third set of trash here, I'm actually going to take everything myself as the main tank, and then the off tank's going to run ahead and pre-pull the next set of trash, which I will show shortly. So we got 2 Raiders and a Tidebreaker here. I'm going to grab the Tidebreaker in the back, and I'm going to point him away from the group, and then the 2 Raiders will follow. Once that's done like this, I'm going to go ahead and chain in the little guys as well. The Tidebreaker gets nuked very quickly here, like the previous trash pull. So we don't actually get to see his mechanic where he puts his sword in the ground and the DPS and healers have to roll dodge or block. So we're going to go over that the next time we see a Tidebreaker. So this is the trash pull that the off tank ran ahead to go pre-pull. All it is just 2 Raiders as well as a bunch of little dudes. It's actually probably the easiest trash pull in the whole trial. Even easier than the first trash pull. So the off tank just grabs the 2 Raiders, and then I'm going to go ahead and taunt a few loose little guys, chain them in, and all is good. So this is going to be the last trash pull before we make it to the first boss here. There are going to be 2 Bulwarks, a Stormcaller, and then a Tidebreaker off to my left. I'm going to take the Bulwark on my left here. I'm going to stack him on the Stormcaller in the back. The off tank is going to do the same thing, but if you have lower damage in your group, I would recommend separating these Bulwarks right away so the gold circle doesn't make things impossible to kill. As soon as I taunt these guys, there's going to be a Tidebreaker coming in on my right here. I'm going to grab him and face him away from the group like I did the previous times. The Stormcaller is really nothing too crazy. He summons down a few little lightning AoEs, you know, just don't stand in them. They don't really do that much damage anyway, so it's nothing really to worry about. So I face the Bulwarks, not the Bulwark, I'm sorry, the Tidebreaker's cleave away from the group. Then he immediately puts his sword on the ground. This is the mechanic that we kept skipping earlier. Once he's about to take the sword out of the ground, just like that, the DPS and the healers need to block or roll dodge. As you can see, some blocked, some roll dodged, and no one died. The Tidebreaker follows it up with the cleave that I face away from the group. Then all that's left after that are 2 tiny little adds that for some reason to get chained in, but they have very little health, so they died anyway. Just like that, we're ready for the first boss. Thank you so much for watching the video up until this point. If you are enjoying what you are seeing, if you find any of this informative, be sure to hit that like button. Please do subscribe, and if you want to watch me live, I do stream almost every day on Twitch, doing different raids and all sorts of other PvE content. So if you want to come there and ask me questions, hang out, click the link in the description below, and we'll continue with the trash pulls. So after we're done that first boss, we're going to come out here. There's going to be 2 Tidebreakers and a Raider and a few little adds. I'm going to take the Tidebreaker on the left. Off tank's going to take the Tidebreaker on the right. I'm going to stack them with the Raider here, face them away from the group like I've been doing, chaining the 2 little mages behind me, and they're all going to die really quickly, just like this. And then we'll move on to the next pull. For this trash pull, we're going to be introducing the Shaman as well as 2 Bulwarks. We're going to be stacking both Bulwarks and the Shaman here because this group has really high damage. The Shaman, if left alive for too long, can summon a random totem, just like the ones we saw in the Yandere fight. If your group has low damage, I would not recommend stacking the Bulwarks. If possible, I would separate them and kill them one at a time, so that way they don't overlap each other with 2 gold circles. There's also 2 little small mage ads that spawn behind us here, so I try to chain those in as well before they summon their little ice fortress. And if all done smoothly, it should look like this. So I've seen this pull go wrong many times, but it's honestly not that bad if you practice a little bit. So there's a Tidebreaker on the left that I just grabbed. I'm going to stack him on this range dude, the Shaman here. You may have noticed the Bulwark up on the hill there. The off-tank's going to grab him. We're going to stack them all in the Shaman here, face them away from the group, and then we're going to chain end the little dudes behind them. Once everything's killed and taken care of, the group is going to go kill the Stormcaller behind me that you may have noticed, and then I am going to go ahead and pre-pull the next set of trash before we get to the second boss. So once my group lets me know that the Stormcaller is dead, I'm going to move and taunt the 2 raiders and stack them on the Shaman here. There are a few little dudes as well. If you don't want to pre-pull this, I would just have one tank grab one of the raiders, and then the main tank just grab the Shaman and 1 raider. Then you're going to stack everything together on that Shaman. This is really nothing too crazy. The raiders do drain your stamina, so if you go too early to pre-pull this, you might lose all your stamina and could potentially die. Hasn't happened to me, but you don't want it to happen to you, so just take my word for it. So right after the Captain Raw fight, we're going to be introduced to the Infusers. There's going to be 3 and a bunch of Hierophants for this first trash pull. I'm going to grab the Infuser on the right, and there's going to be 2 more, one by the tent and then one to the left. So again, I'm just grabbing the one to the right. The off-tank's going to grab those other 2. The Hierophants are going to run towards the group. The DPS and healers just have to block cast so they don't die. I saw one person there die because he didn't block. Look at where the off-tank is on the right there. That's going to be where you're going to want to stand. And then the main tank is going to stand where I am. And that'll stack all the infusers really neatly. You may have noticed I had deep breath on my bar. I'm going to be casting that pretty religiously when these infusers are brought in so that we can interrupt them. They are the exact same as the ones we see in Black Rose Prison if you've ever been in there. If there's no DK tanks, definitely throw it on a mag DK. It'll be your friend trying to interrupt these guys. This next trash pull, we got this big Crimson Knight dude here as the main tank. You're going to take him. There's going to be 2 infusers also beside him. Then further down the path, there's going to be another infuser. The off tank is going to go and range taunt him and then walk back towards where the group is now. That'll stack the last infuser together. The infusers, again, if they aren't interrupted, will enrage everything around them and everything will hurt and will likely kill you. We got some more Hierophants here. This Crimson Knight, really big dude, has a really big hitbox as well. As you see how big he is right now, that's how big his hitbox really is. He'll do a big heavy attack where he'll put his arms back and swipe them at you, as you just saw in the Code's combat alerts there. You want to roll dodge that. Taking that's going to really hurt. With the way CP is right now, you can actually take that just blocking, but I wouldn't recommend it. It is still going to hurt you for quite a lot of damage. This trash pull can be messy if you don't know what you're doing, but if you followed them I'm about to show you, it definitely goes by a lot smoother. So there are 4 infusers here. The off tank's going to grab all 4 of them. I'm going to go grab at this Bitter Knight right here, and I'm going to run towards this hill where all the DPS are stacking. The 4 infusers, there's going to be one way down at the far end of that path, as you can see the tank down there running to go taunt that last infuser. This Bitter Knight can summon a prison on any random person in the group near it. If the Bitter Knight has a lot of health, you're going to want to focus that prison, because otherwise the person inside of it will die after a few seconds. If the prison, as you see right now, goes out in the off tank, the group's just actually going to kill the Bitter Knight, because killing the Bitter Knight will get rid of the prison. And as you can see, the off tank with all 4 infusers taunted goes behind that rock up there, and it line of sight stacks all the infusers perfectly, where the group can just turn and kill all of them, backstabber. Everything's close together. And then myself and the mag DK in the group are both spamming deep breath, getting all the bashes off, because again, we do not want these infusers to enrage, because it is very, very, very bad news. So once we got this taken care of, there's only 1 trash pull left. Alright, so for the final trash pull, I thought it would be a lot easier to show you guys how it's done with this diagram and then show you guys how it's done in Raid. So, this is how this works, okay? Everything is going to revolve around the broken down wooden cart that is in the middle of the path. And what we're going to need to stack everything on that wooden cart is for one healer to slot a taunt and one random DPS to slot a taunt. There is going to be a shed off to the left here, and there's going to be a banner right next to it. Okay, this blue thing here, this is the banner. Okay, this red diamond is one infuser off to the right. The left diamond is the left infuser. The pink dots here are going to be ads that the tanks are grabbing. I'm going to show the tanks how to grab the ads and position them in the actual in-raid footage. So this here is mostly for the healer and the DPS. So the group is going to start right here. Okay, this is where you guys are going to pre-buff. This is where you guys are going to get the barrier running. Okay, then what's going to happen is that we're going to have one healer going to come up here, taunt this infuser, and then they are going to run to this banner, and this will line of sight the infuser to stack right on the cart. Okay, so that's going to be the healer's job. The DPS is going to do a very similar thing. They're going to run right here, taunt the left infuser, and then they are going to run to the opposite side of the road right here, and that'll stack this infuser right in front of the cart as well. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to show you guys how things are done in Raid, and hopefully everything will look nice and neatly stacked for your group. Because hopefully with that diagram I just showed, the healer and the DPS will know how to stack their infusers. And all that's left to do is for the tanks to neatly stack everything else. So the main tank, myself in this video, is going to grab the Raider, which is on the right. And then the Blood Knight, which is going to be in the very back near that Stormcaller. And the off tank is going to grab the Bulwark that's on the left. And the Tidebreaker that's next to the Shaman in the middle, then stack them both in the Shaman that is right on the wooden cart. So, if all goes according to plan, the infusers will be stacked with them, everything will look nice. So as you see right here, I'm going to pop that barrier, I'm going to grab this Raider off to the right. Just give myself a second here. Alright, I'm going to taunt the Raider. And then I'm going to roll dodge through these guys here. And then I'm going to go ahead and taunt that Blood Knight. And then go back through the rest of the ads and do a quick dodge there. And that is going to stack the Blood Knight right on the cart. And as you can see, everything is neat, faced away from the group. The infusers are stacked perfectly. There's a few Harrow Fiends here and there. You just keep block casting through this. And the Blood Knight is, right now he's about to do his Blood Fountain mechanic. It doesn't get to do it. So basically what the Blood Fountain is, he's going to send a big plus shape pattern AoE throughout the group. And you'll be able to see those red lines coming through the group. And you can just walk out of them and it won't hurt you. But honestly, it's best to just keep block casting because there's a chance you might not see it, right? So keep block casting, and worst case scenario, if you are in it, you will be able to mitigate some of that damage. It's really up to the DPS and the healers, though, to pay attention to where that is. And then once everything's dead, I'm going to go ahead and kill this Stormcaller. And then once that's dead, you are on to the final boss. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching my first video. I really did put a lot of effort into this, and I hope you guys walked away with some more knowledge on this trial. Please look forward to my next video, which will be coming out hopefully pretty soon. I'm doing 3 videos, one for each of the 3 bosses in this trial. If you like what you saw, you want to see this live, go ahead and check out my Twitch channel, link below, and I stream just about every day. Come hang out, come say hi, come ask questions. Love to see your faces, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.